In June 2025, immigration continues to dominate headlines across the United States. And one of the most overlooked parts of that story is the rapid rise in undocumented immigrants from Asia. For decades, the public discourse around illegal immigration in America has been centered on the southern border and Latin America. But today, that narrative is shifting. Quietly and steadily, Asian countries have become some of the top sources of undocumented immigrants in the U.S., and the numbers are surprising even immigration experts. In this video, we'll reveal the latest statistics, explore the reasons behind this trend, and examine how the Biden to Trump policy shift is reshaping the lives of hundreds of thousands of undocumented Asian immigrants. If you think illegal immigration is only a border issue, what you're about to hear will change your mind. Let's begin with the numbers. As of mid-2025, the total number of undocumented immigrants living in the United States is estimated at approximately 10.5 million people. What many Americans don't realize is that nearly 1.7 million of them, roughly 17%, are from Asia and the Pacific Islands. And these aren't just recent arrivals crossing borders in the dead of night. Many came to the U.S. legally, on valid visas, student visas, work visas, tourist visas, and simply never left. They've overstayed, faded into the background, and become part of the invisible backbone of the American economy. Now, let's break down the top countries of origin for undocumented Asian immigrants in the U.S. The number one country on that list? India. It might surprise you, but as of 2025, more than 700,000 undocumented Indian nationals are living in the United States. That's nearly double the number from just 10 years ago. And many of them are not low-skilled laborers. In fact, most Indian undocumented immigrants in the U.S. arrived on H-1B work visas or F-1 student visas. They were tech workers, graduate students, engineers. But due to delays in green card processing and backlogged immigration systems, many lost status over time. Next up is China, with an estimated 390,000 undocumented Chinese nationals living in the U.S. While some of these individuals overstayed visas, there's also been a sharp rise in irregular crossings at the southern border. According to Homeland Security reports, more Chinese nationals are now entering the U.S. through Mexico than ever before. In fact, 2024 and early 2025 saw a record number of Chinese migrants apprehended at the U.S.-Mexico border. Economic pressure, political repression, and fears of surveillance in China are driving many young citizens to flee. Some pay smugglers tens of thousands of dollars to take them through Central America and eventually to the U.S. border. Once inside, they disappear into major urban centers like New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco, often working in restaurants, massage parlors, or the underground gig economy. The third largest group of undocumented Asian immigrants in the U.S. comes from the Philippines, with an estimated 350,000 people living without legal status. The Filipino-American relationship goes back generations, and thousands of Filipinos legally enter the U.S. each year as nurses, caregivers, and service workers. But a significant number overstay their temporary work or visitor visas. Many undocumented Filipinos have lived in the U.S. for more than a decade, building families, attending churches, and contributing to their communities, yet facing constant fear of deportation. South Korea comes next, with approximately 250,000 undocumented individuals. Like Indian and Chinese immigrants, many South Koreans came on student or visitor visas and overstayed. In states like California and New York, entire enclaves of undocumented South Korean immigrants quietly work in dry cleaning shops, grocery stores, and restaurants, avoiding attention and living under the radar. The fifth largest group comes from Vietnam, with about 200,000 undocumented immigrants. Unlike newer overstays, many Vietnamese immigrants arrived decades ago after the Vietnam War, often as refugees or asylum seekers. Beyond these top five, other countries like Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Thailand, and Afghanistan each contribute tens of thousands of undocumented immigrants. In total, they represent a diverse and often overlooked population within the larger undocumented immigrant community. These individuals are spread across all 50 states, but the majority live in just 4: California, Texas, New York, and New Jersey. California alone is home to over 400,000 undocumented Asians thanks to its strong economy, large immigrant population, and relatively immigrant-friendly policies. In fact, more than 70% of undocumented Asians in the U.S. have some college education or higher, a stark contrast to public assumptions about undocumented populations. They are coders, engineers, small business owners, PhD students, and researchers. Many have U.S.-born children. Some own homes. They are deeply embedded in American society, but legally invisible. Despite their contributions, they are now at increasing risk. With biometric surveillance expanding, ICE raids intensifying, and public sentiment shifting, many undocumented Asian immigrants are living in fear. Even those who've lived peacefully in the U.S. for 20 years are now applying for asylum or seeking legal pathways through marriage, investment, or employer sponsorship, if available. But for most, there's no easy solution. In the middle of all this, millions of lives hang in the balance. Parents worry about being separated from their children. Students fear losing their chance at education. Professionals are abandoning long-term plans for American careers. And across immigrant communities, trust in the U.S. immigration system is crumbling. This isn't just a political issue, it's a human one. These are real people, living real lives, contributing to communities and building futures. But the system, as it stands today, is failing them. The rise of undocumented Asian immigrants in the U.S. is not an accident. It's a predictable result of policies that block legal paths, trap people in limbo, and punish those who try to follow the rules. Until meaningful reform happens, the number of undocumented immigrants from Asia will only continue to grow, and the pressure on individuals and families will only get worse. If you or someone you know is undocumented or at risk, don't wait. Seek legal advice immediately. Stay informed. Know your rights. Because in 2025, silence and confusion are no longer safe.